There are places in the world built with a single purpose: to lock away the body and, often, to break the spirit. Fortresses of stone and steel where every brick seems to whisper tales of despair, ingenuity, and sometimes the impossible: escape. Today, we will open the gates of four of history's most legendary and feared prisons, places that became synonymous with maximum security, but which also guard dark secrets and saw ordinary men challenge the system in search for freedom. Get ready to discover the stories behind bars. Welcome to the Light and Shadows Global Channel, and these are Legendary Prisons. Our first stop is perhaps the most infamous island prison on the planet, Alcatraz. Known as the Rock, located in the icy waters of San Francisco Bay, Alcatraz was designed to be escape-proof. From 1934 to 1963, it housed some of America's most notorious criminals, including gangster Al Capone, who, it's said, withered away here playing the banjo as his mind succumbed to syphilis. But Alcatraz isn't just famous for its prisoners, it's renowned for its escape attempts. The most celebrated, and one that still fuels conspiracy theories today, occurred in June 1962. Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin, after months of meticulous planning, vanished from their cells. They used smuggled spoons to dig holes in their cell walls, camouflaged by posters. They left fake heads made of papier-mâché and human hair in their beds to deceive the guards during nightly counts, and then they launched themselves into the treacherous waters on a makeshift raft made of raincoats. Their bodies were never found. The FBI officially concluded they drowned, but the lack of concrete evidence and some mysterious reports over the years keep the legend alive. Did they achieve the impossible and escape the Rock? From merciless America, we travel to historic Europe, specifically England. With nearly 1,000 years of history, the Tower of London is not just a castle, it was a royal palace, a treasury, and for centuries one of the most feared and politically charged prisons in the world. If its walls could talk, they would tell secrets of deposed kings, condemned queens, and conspiracies that changed the course of history. Here, figures like Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, wives of Henry VIII, spent their final days before execution. Sir Walter Raleigh wrote his History of the World during his 13 years of imprisonment. And the legendary princes in the tower, two young heirs to the throne, mysteriously disappeared within its walls in the 15th century, a secret that still puzzles historians today. Although escapes were rare and extremely dangerous, some did occur. Bishop Ranulph Flambard in 1101 escaped by climbing down a rope that had been smuggled in a wine barrel. But more than escapes, the tower is legendary for its dark secrets, tales of torture in the Bloody Tower, and countless reports of ghosts of its most illustrious prisoners, said to still roam its corridors and courtyards. A true living archive of intrigue and tragedy. Now we venture into the relentless heat of South America, to a place whose name alone evokes terror: Devil's Island in French Guiana. Part of a brutal penal colony system established by France in the 19th century, Devil's Island and its neighbors were reserved for the most difficult and political prisoners. Isolation was only part of the punishment. The real sentence was survival. Inhumane conditions, forced labor under a scorching sun, tropical diseases like malaria and yellow fever, and scarce food decimated the prison population. Sharks infested the surrounding waters, making any attempt to escape by swimming an almost certain suicide. The mortality rate was frightening. The most persistent legend of Devil's Island is that of Henry Charrière, nicknamed Papillon because of a butterfly tattoo. His autobiographical book, which became a famous movie, chronicles his numerous and audacious escape attempts from this green hell. Although the veracity of all his accounts is disputed by historians, Papillon's story symbolizes the indomitable human will to seek freedom even in the most oppressive circumstances. Devil's Island remains a dark monument to cruelty and despair. Our final stop takes us back to the United States, to Philadelphia, to explore Eastern State Penitentiary. Opened in 1829, this wasn't an ordinary prison. With its imposing Gothic architecture and innovative radial design, Eastern State pioneered the controversial system of total solitary confinement worldwide. It was believed that isolation would lead prisoners to reflection, repentance, to penitence, hence the name penitentiary. Inmates lived, ate, and worked alone in their cells, leaving only for 1 hour of exercise in individual yards, always hooded so as not to see other prisoners. Silence was almost absolute. Many succumbed to madness under this regime. Despite its philosophy and security, Eastern State also had its famous prisoners and escapes. Al Capone spent 8 months here in a surprisingly comfortable cell with rugs and a radio. And in 1945, the notorious bank robber Willie Sutton, along with 12 other inmates, managed a spectacular escape by digging a tunnel over 100 feet long, 30 meters, under the prison wall. Today, Eastern State is a museum and a National Historic Landmark, a hauntingly beautiful site, with its preserved ruins and, of course, numerous ghost stories. Alcatraz, Tower of London, Devil's Island, Eastern State Penitentiary. 4 walls, 4 worlds of suffering, ingenuity, and unspeakable secrets. Each, in its own way, tested the limits of human endurance and etched its name in history as an almost inescapable fortress. But, as we've seen, the desire for freedom sometimes speaks louder. So, which of these legendary prisons impressed or intrigued you the most? Did you know all the stories? Let me know your opinion in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And of course, if you enjoyed this journey through the dark corridors of history, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next mysteries, and share this video with a friend who's also fascinated by stories like these. See you in the next video. Cheers!